So to those of you watching the recording, I would say this evening, probably not, at some point over the weekend. Hello to you, hope you're well. Any questions on what we're going to do, just send me a message or ring me at the time and I will do my best to answer. So welcome to the gym today. Scott was supposed to be joining me, but he bailed, so I'm here on my own anyway. And apologies in advance if someone comes out of that room. They are supposed to be in there. It's a massage going on, so it's not random. I know they're there. Okay, so I wanted to get involved, some bands today if we've got them, and a block if you've got it. If you haven't got it, a relatively thick book will do the job, but you need to be relatively comfortable that you're going to put your weight entirely on it, so it does need to be a fairly sturdy book. I'm going to bring this up very, very slightly, and then we're actually going to start upright today. Now, what I wanted to do was, I'm turning the music down slightly. I wanted to do a really, really, really thorough stretch. And what I was intending on doing is sort of taking you through why I'm stretching it. So we're sort of going to go from right down to the bottom all the way up to the top. I've got a hell of a lot of people at the moment who are really, really, really stiff because they're still not in the correct office space. And they're really, really starting to suffer. It was okay for a bit, and now it's just sort of going right downhill. So what I wanted to do was sort of go, right, this is, when I'm thinking about how to stretch, I sort of go from the easiest way of doing it is sort of all the way up or all the way down, so you don't actually miss too many muscle groups. We're going to do a little stretch sort of per main muscle group. And what I'm hoping, and you're obviously more than welcome to the recording afterwards if you'd like to repeat this, is that hopefully it will help when you're not with me. So as well, so if you're in the gym, say on your own, or you're doing something at home, then you can think to yourself, right, so what did Rebecca say? I'm going to work from my feet all the way up. I'm going to work through those different muscle groups and then come up to the head and then feel super stretched. So hopefully, not only it will help you this evening, hopefully it will help you in the future as well. So one that always gets missed is our feet. So we're going to start there, and then we'll sort of be coming up and down a little bit, but mainly we'll be up. This is designed that you can do this without being either embarrassing or weird inside the gym as well, and potentially even in your office. So if you're getting really, really stiff and you're in an office environment, it's not going to be too weird to do this because we're not going to be sort of upside down on the floor. So starting with your toes, I just want you to give them a little wriggle. Hopefully you can see me fully. Just give them a little wriggle and then spread them out and just feel sort of nice and grounded on the floor. Now, if you can put your hands on your hips, and we're going to rock. Now, this does rely on a little bit of balance, but you should be okay. So we're going to rock up and down just a little bit, okay? You don't have to come all the way up into your toes. I just want you to lift your heels off. So give yourself a couple of seconds to get used to this, and you're sort of rocking backwards and forwards, and basically your hips are coming backwards and your hips are coming forwards, if that makes sense. Quite a small move. Okay, one more backwards and forwards. Good. Okay, now we're going to put our foot, now just be aware that this may cramp if you're quite susceptible to feet cramp. I want you to put your foot down and you're going to curl your toe under. That's quite a strong one, but it's the equivalent of when we hold our toes and bring them round. And then stretch them the other way. So you're flexing. So quite a strong point. Just curl your toes under and stretch. Let's do that one more time. So curl your toe under and stretch. This is quite a lot harder with trainers on or shoes on. So when you're doing this one, I would definitely advise you take trainers off. It's quite hard to curl your toe under and trainers on. And stretch. Curl your toe under and stretch. Now that's, as I said, it is quite a strong one. So if you can feel it just not to cramp, don't do that one. Okay, right. So toes, feeling good. Ankles. So again, making sure that you're balanced. We're going to give our ankles a little wriggle. That's it. So one way in a circle, then the other way in a circle. One more. Lovely. It might be a bit clicky, as long as it doesn't hurt when you click. So just ground yourself on the other leg, and then we're going round. That's it. Stay nice and upright. And one more circle. Good. Okay, to give your legs a little shake out. Right, now we are going to come up fairly high on our toes, and we're not going to push backwards. So this will stretch out your calf, and then we're going to go the other way. So calf's got to do a little bit of work here. Now, hands wherever you want to, or you can hold on to something, chair, wall, bring yourself up and down. So you're up onto your toes and down. Up onto your toes and down. And let's go one more. Good. Okay. Right, now we're going the other way. Now this should get your hamstring as well, but it'll also get your calf. So we're going to put a foot forward and flex your toes, and then bend the knee that you're on, and then we're going to hinge. So this is a typical runner's back of your legs type of stretch. This is a really, really good one to do anywhere, because you can just get into this position even when you're, over at the shops or something. You can have a little stretch out if you need to. Now the way to advance that, so that's, tough. But if you want to advance it, and hold onto your toe, and you can just expand it, and then you can also drop your hand down, which makes it even worse. That's quite strong. So you can do a version of it and just really try and pull that, and you should feel that all the way down, particularly here. Okay, so just walk onto that. That's it, and give it a little shake out. Right, so let's do the other side. So you're going to put your foot down, bend the leg that you're on, and then hinge forwards. Again, you may feel that one side is a tad stiffer than the other. Don't worry about that, it's fairly standard. Just hold it here. And if that's fine to hold and you're getting a good stretch, perfect. If not, we're extending that a little bit. And then bring your hand down further if you'd like to. Again, try and keep your back fairly straight on that one. Hold it there for that really good stretch all the way down the back. And then let go and just walk onto it. That's it. Okay, give it a little shake out. Wonderful. Okay, so moving your attention. So we've done right down the bottom. We've done sort of a little bit further up. We've done the back of your legs. So the back of your legs should be feeling pretty good. Not quite glutes yet, but the front of your legs is where we need to go. So work your way up. The best, most simple, not necessarily the easiest, but the most simple one is a quad stretch this way. So again, if you need to hold on to something and just pull in, and then the idea is that you're just going to push your hip forwards, very small amount. You should feel that all the way down, really strong. I'm going to show you a different way of doing this as well. So this is quite a good one if you're, standing around and you don't really want to get onto the floor. But if you're at home and you're like, well, no one's watching, I don't really care, is if you can put your foot against the wall or a chair. I won't, because I'll go out of camera. But you can bring your foot up and it be against something, and then you can do it that way, because sometimes it's quite difficult for people to hold on too much. So if you're struggling, put it against something, and I'll try to demo, and then it's really feeling quite a stretch just as much. Okay, let's do exactly the same thing the other side. So one quad should be nice and stretched now. I'll come back up and do this one with you. And remember, you can obviously do exactly the same thing the other side, it's just the other legs forward. Hold it there. Now, with a stretch, I have mentioned this before, but again, I'll say it. If you need to hold it for approximately 12 to 15 seconds as a minimum. So when people are sort of, they're just sort of doing this, and right, I'm done. It's like that hasn't really stretched your muscles correctly, particularly at the beginning of an exercise set or run of some description. You really do need to hold it for about 12 to 15 seconds. And what happens is if you hold it, eventually the muscles that you're stretching go, ugh, and they release. It's just a chemical reaction. They just release slightly. So if you're feeling super tight, if you hold it for those 12 to 15 seconds, you'll feel it go, and it's tiny. It's a tiny little relax, but that's what we're trying to go for. Okay, so hold it around that time. You'll get that little release, and then there's further stretch as you need them. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, so legs, we're pretty good. Okay, so we've done all the way around, all the way down to toes. So hip flexors. Hip flexors are super, super important to do because we are sitting down too much. And especially if you have a desk-based job, which current people online do, they're too tight because you're doing that and they're contracting too much. So what we need to do is basically the opposite of that. And the best one to do is this. So not quite so easy to do at your desk, but if you sink down, you'll get the hip flexor that is doing the stretch is the one where your leg is at the back. So an excellent way of doing this as well is if you had a block or book or something to lean on, if you want to just put a little bit more pressure on, that works quite nicely as well. It just elevates you and keeps your back nice and straight. Now again with this, take a deep breath and sink into it. Just feel it going, oh. It's like, oh, that's better. Good. Okay, so if you have got a block, we're swapping to the other side. Just swap your legs and breathe in, and the out breath, sink it down. That's it. Just try really hard just to relax down. And again, one side may be a tad tighter than the other. This one's certainly tighter for me. Good. Okay, and bring yourself back up nice and slowly. So we're standing back up again. So hip flexors, nice and relaxed. So let's move to the trunk area. I won't forget the abs and glutes, but they ideally need to be done on the floor. So the trunk area is made up mainly of your spine. So if we can, there's a lot of muscles around here, but it's your spine that is the main thing to try and stretch out, because again, if you've been sat down doing that all day, it really needs counterbalancing that way. So 3 planes of movement that I look at: this way, and this way. So the first thing we're going to do is this one, and the best thing for that is a roll down. Very, very frequently I'll be doing this with you because it is the best way to relax your back out. So roll it down, hands down your legs, roll down, roll down, roll down. Really try and relax into this one. And your back of your legs have had a little stretch out, but they may still need additional. And when you're thinking about this one, really think arms heavy, hands heavy, head heavy. Really use the weight of the top half of your body to stretch and elongate each of those vertebrae away from each other. Now again, what you'll find is exactly the same with any muscle stretch, is it doesn't take long for it to go, so you may find that your hands can reach the floor a little further. If they're near the floor, they might be able to reach the floor. If they're on the floor, they might be able to go a bit lower. Just try and relax into it. Good. Okay, right. Just release your hands off the floor and then rolling it up really slowly. Just make sure those vertebrae are stacking and your posture is correcting itself. Okay, hands behind your back. And then we're going to counterbalance that. And we're just going to squeeze, just tuck everything under a little bit, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your head. Good, and release that. Right, again, we're going to do that again just because your back, there's quite a few vertebrae in there. So bring it down, roll it down. That's it, use the weight. And then we're coming back up. Nice and slowly stack, stack, stack. Hands behind your head, your back. Once you're up the top, and squeeze your shoulder blades together and recorrect your posture. Okay, and release and down. Good. Okay, so that's this way. So next one we're going to do is this way. So if you want to bring your arm up, again, this is the simplest way of doing this, is leaning over. Now my advice would be do this a couple of times, because the first time you do it, you're quite stiff. And it does take a few seconds for your body to go, oh, okay. Squeeze your glutes very slightly and stay as straight as you can. Bring yourself up and over and sink it down. Squeeze your glutes, keep yourself upright. And back up. Right, let's do that again. Very likely to be able to go a little bit further now. So nice and tall first, then lean it over. And up and over. Now, use the weight of your hand and your arm and your head just to sink a teeny tiny bit further. Good, and up, lovely. Okay, last plane. We're going to spin around. Again, this is the easiest one to do because you're standing up, so hips facing me and look over your shoulder. Bring yourself back to center, and then we're going to bring it round and the other way. Be aware of breathing in this one. That's it, and bring it back to center. Lovely. Let's do that one more time again. If you can do back stuff twice as a minimum, then you can feel that you can go a little bit further. Bring it round. And back to center. Lovely. Okay, so all three planes of the spine done. Should be feeling much more supple now, much less achy, particularly in your back area. So let's concentrate our efforts up to the shoulders. Now, again, I say this a lot of times, shoulders are quite complicated. There's an awful lot of things overlapping and holding on to each other, and muscles and tendons and all sorts of things around here. So really, really important that we do give them a good stretch out. And I'm very frequently asking you to roll your shoulders just because it can get a little bit tense up here. Also, there is a lot of tension that's held all the way around here in your neck area. So super important. And as I said, even if you start at the top and go down, or you can start at the bottom and go up, either way, shoulders super important. Don't miss them out. So first one first, let's do a nice big roll. Especially with upper body exercise, your shoulders are doing a hell of a lot of work. And the other way. Good. Bring one arm over and hold on to it. Just try and relax that shoulder away from your ear. This exercise is really, really helpful, but it can be done quite wrong. So you can sort of be up here. So bring your arm across, hold on to it, and then sink your shoulder. And just pull it in. Good. And bring it down. Okay. They're the simplest shoulder exercises. So just rolling it round, whether that's there or rolling it like that, that's absolutely fine. Any kind of roll and then across. So again, often we'll do the ones where we're on our knees and we're bringing it across that way As long as it's bringing it across, it's stretching out the back here and all the way across. We've already done this one, okay? So that's to counterbalance that, but again, that is also for your shoulders. So a little bit more neck related. So I want you to do one roll and then drop your head down. So your posture, your shoulders should feel quite low and backwards. And so you've got that really, really good stretch going on right around the back of your neck. This is an excellent one to do at your desk really frequently. So every sort of, I don't know, even hour or so, just stop, look away from your screen and just roll and sink your head. So much tension here. Okay, now we're going to just little semicircle. So look over your shoulder, towards your shoulder. So as if you're drawing a little semicircle, but keep those shoulders back, nothing else moves. One side and the other side. Back down to the center. Lift your head and relax your shoulders. It's quite amazing how much that goes, oh, makes you feel, oh, it's better. Right, last one, just for a little bit more up the top here, is just a little head stretch. So you can either just hold your head, I'm going to come down so just in case my head's chopped off, and or you can hold your shoulder and your head and just pull them very gently away from each other. And then the other side. So just hold it there. There it goes. Wonderful. Okay. So hopefully that's helped. Toes all the way up to head. I tend to just sort of do a little shake out as well, just to make sure everything's working properly. So you can always think about that when you're not with me or when you're doing something else that does require you to do a stretch out. Work your way through that. There's only 2 more sets that are relatively major, and it depends what you've done. So if you have done just a load of core work or a load of glute work, which is what we're going to do, I wanted to show you. We will do these again at the end because we would have just worked them out. So the best one, in my opinion, on stretching out your core is a cobra. Definitely a half cobra, particularly now because we haven't flexed everything, you know, done loads of hard work on our back yet. So just make sure that your forearms are down and then just push your shoulders back. Now you should feel that, I'll turn right around here. If it is pinching your back, which is absolutely what it shouldn't be doing, just come lower, okay? It doesn't get quite so much of a stretch in your abs, but it still does. Just don't want the pinch in your back. Now, if you're like, I'm not even feeling that still, then obviously we're up here, and that should be quite strong in the abs around the front. So that is your one for abs. And then the best one for glutes is spinning over. Very much by a long way. This one gets it every single time. So cross your legs and just bring your knees in. We will be doing this again in a minute. If they are particularly tight, depending on what you've been doing, this will release them. It's not exactly the most comfortable of stretches, to be fair. Just make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And then we're going to swap sides. So just cross legs the other way. Just be careful not to pinch groin. Can happen. Bring those knees nice and closely towards you. Right. Absolutely wonderful. Okie dokie. So whilst we're down here, let's get a little bit of glute burn going on and core, and then we're going to stand up. And I want to do a little bit more of a glute burn up there. So make a decision on, if you've got multiple plans, which one you want to do. Ursula, I would start with the slightly larger one because they'll still be very, very tight. Steve, I'd go relatively tough because your bands are used to it now. Okay, so Band over the top of your knees, about a couple of inches down from your actual knee, and then we're going to bring our feet quite close to your glutes. Okay, just relax your back for a second. Just get it used to being on the floor. And then we're going to very, very, very gently just squeeze. So we're just going to tilt our pelvis and just squeeze your glutes just off the floor. Okay, so you can't even quite get your hand under yet. They're just lifted. And then we're going to release. And again, tilt and lift. And release. Tilt and lift. Release. Okay, come a little bit higher now, so we're just able to get our hands underneath glutes. And down and release. Right, now we're going to come up a little bit higher. So every time we're coming up and down, I just want you to go a little bit higher. And just take your time and slowly work your way up the vertebrae. So we should be sort of roughly by your shoulders now at the lower. Okay, and then we're going to bring it up again. Okay, glutes should be going, oh, okay. They should be activating now, so we should be right up. And what I'd like you to do is just have a little prod, just making sure they are quite active. Now it should be that the center is, so the sides less so at the moment, but right in the, like, right on your maximus should be fully engaged now. Okay, let's roll it down and release. Okay, anytime it's getting a bit too much, just bring your knees in towards you, okay, and just give yourself a little rock. Sorry. Okay, right, so let's a little bit advance this now. So tilt and roll yourself up. So we're nice and high, and hands can be on your hips to assist. So you've got your elbows back behind you if you need to. And we're going to come up, if you can, if it's not going to cramp, you're going to come up onto your toes and back down. So it's not that easy. And once you're up onto your toes, I really want you to give your glutes a little tiny extra squeeze. So up and squeeze. So band should not be necessarily doing too much at the moment, but it's just keeping your knees about hip width apart. So up and squeeze. And down, up and squeeze. Let's do 2 more. Glutes should be going, oh God, now. Okay, they really should be quite active. If they're not active yet, you're not squeezing them hard enough. Roll them down and relax. Remember, if it is all a bit too much, bring it in, just roll it round, okay, and just loosen everything off. Right. Okay, so very active now. We're going to get the medius involved, which is around the outside. Oh, someone is very insistent on trying to get hold of me. I'll tell you right now, that's my 10-year-old son who's got a new mobile phone. Oh, he'll get over it. Right, okay, so tilt and lift. Okay, now we're going to lift up onto our toes. Now we're going to bring those knees out. If you want to come off your toes because you're starting to cramp or it's hurting your back, then please do so, okay? Your feet flat is absolutely fine. Bring those knees out, bring it back and roll it down. And release, drop the feet. Very good. Right, that should be very, very active now. So tilt and lift all the way up onto your toes. And we're going to bring it out. Hold it out there. Right, feel everything going, oh my God, now. Card readers in just on the desk, darling. Blue box. And down. And release. Release your toes as well. Lovely. Right, let's do that one more time. Remember, the toes bit is optional. So lift it up up onto your toes. Let's bring those knees out. Oh, hold it. Oh, oh, oh. Right, final little burn. 3, 2, 1. Hold it out and roll it down. Oh my goodness. Right, bring that in. Oh, good stuff. Lovely. Okay, right, for the brave, we are going to go a tiny bit further, but I don't want you to involve your toes because they will start to cramp eventually. So we'll just bring your feet down, keep them nice and flat, and then we're going to tilt all the way up. Right, now this time I don't want you to go right up here, okay? So you're about halfway. So your shoulders should actually be flat on the floor and still feel quite comfortable. Glutes are still very, very active. We're going to bring those knees away from us, really feel that resistance band. Hold it there and feel the medius going, oh my God. Right, we're going to pulse. So for 10, we're bringing our knees further out and off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out, hold it out. Roll it down and then bring them in. Oh, how you doing, Ursula? New band working well for you? Right, let's do that again. Roll it up. So about half-ish way. Bring it out. And is it not working? It should be. I used it about an hour ago. Bring it out. Sorry guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Just give me 1 second. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out. 3, 2, 1. Roll it down. Oh, I'm relaxed. Very good. Right, guys. If you want to do that one more time, just give me a second. Sorry, I've just got a slight problem to deal with.
This was a server error, so I turned it off.
Oh no. Okay, right. It's gone then.
So you've got to log on.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
That should do it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Connect. Fred, if there's a problem, I'll get it tomorrow if you're in or when you're in next week. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Right. Okay. So if you bring yourself in and then just give yourself a little rest. Right. Now, let's have a little look at the difference between right glute and left glute. Okay. So invariably, there is quite a difference. So what I'd like you to do is tilt and lift, and you're just lifting just off the floor. Okay. And then what I want you to do, it doesn't matter which one, we're going to take one leg and bring it out. So one is staying still. So for me, for example, my left is staying still, my right is coming out. Okay, bringing it out and back in again. So it's for a sort of a count of 2, it's like tempo 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the trick is to keep everything else still because it definitely wants to come with you. Try really hard to squeeze everything, keep everything tight so it doesn't. Let's do one more. You feel that glute really doing some work. And then we're going to swap to the other side. So watch your feet. Your feet may really want to leave the floor. So if you think my big toe is not leaving the floor, your feet should remain flat. So now our right is still and our left is squeezing out. Squeeze. That's it. And let's go one more. Squeeze it out. Excellent. Roll it down and release. Oh my God. Woo! All right. So let's make it tougher. And we're actually going to come up to the top now. Thanks, Fred. Okay, so bring it up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring those arms up and over. So we are really nice and high now and avoiding ponytails getting in the way. Right, same thing again. So your hands can be completely over or you can rest them, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then we're going to squeeze out and back. Squeeze out and back. Thank you. That's it. Remembering those feet need to stay on the floor, so they're not lifting, because what that's actually doing is cheating the muscle. It's not working as hard. So therefore, they want to do it, but don't let them. Now, if you can feel yourself slipping, so we're going to swap to the other side now. So for me, that's the left. If you can feel yourself sliding down and starting to go like this, just reset your hips. This should really, really be caning now. Like, we've done quite a lot of glute work. This should be absolutely, oh my God. Okay, let's do one more. And then both out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll it down. Oh my God. Oh, Steve, I hope you haven't got the really tough one on. Woo! Okay, and bring your arms back down. Wonderful. Good stuff. Right, word of advice, just if you want to, I would just cross your legs and bring your knees in, and then we'll just stretch out those glutes. Oh my God. Woo. Okay, and swapping sides. So we're going to finish with a bit of glute work, but I want to do a bit of core work whilst we're down here. That's it. Just hold it in for a sec. There you go. Relax, relax. Okay. So band, it can stay on if you want to. Optional, you can probably take it off now. Right, so a little bit of core work. So what I'd like you to do first of all is we're going to just use a leg and sit yourself up. Good. Apologies for the hair, it's all gone wrong. So roll up, roll downs. You guys know how to do them very, very well now. So I'm not going to spend hours doing that. I just want to do one and just get your core warm. But what I want to do an exercise of is now holding it. So you're bringing it back and you're holding it. Now, every sort of, it's, you know, your judgment on an inch or so. I want you to come back to an inch or so and then hold, and then another inch or so and hold. So we'll do our roll down first. So just keep your legs soft and bent. Are you coming? All right, darling. Shall I give you a call later? All right, darling. Thank you. So we're rolling down. Curl, 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 curl. And arms back. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel that arch in your back. Push the arch away on the out breath. And bring it up. And roll up. Beautiful. Right. Okay. So now, bring yourself back a little bit. Back again. Back again. Oh, it's going to start to get tough in a minute. And again. Hold it there for a sec. And again. Keep going. I'm going to get to a point where I can't talk. Should be nearly down the bottom. Oh my God, shaking like a leaf. And you probably should be down now. Oh, right, arms back and over. That's woken the core up. Take a deep breath in. Release that breath. Bring your arms forward. Right, this is so much harder on the way up. So if you're totally struggling and going, no chance, just roll yourself back up, okay? I'd rather you didn't get stuck. So first things first, lift your head, shoulders off. And then it's this sticking point. You really, oh, that's the worst one. Oh. Roll it up, roll it up, roll it up. Until you're at the top. Well done. If you manage to do that, very, very well done. Absolute bravo. Right, because I'm insane, let's do that again. So remember, your judgment call on how fast you want to go, okay? So don't hang around forever, but just give it a second and then stop. And give it a second and then stop, okay? So off we go. 1. Down again. Keep going. Oh, this is mind over matter, this one. Bring it down. Now, I'm shaking like a leaf, so you probably are as well. Oh, oh down. Arms backwards. Take a deep breath in. All right, let's do this. So arms forward. First thing, lift your head. Watch your neck. Shoulders off. Squeeze. Oh, the hard one. Up. 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 Oh, and up. There we go. Excellent stuff. Very well done. Very, very well done if you managed to do that. Oh. Right, just lean forwards and just counterbalance. Right, lovely. Okay. A little bit of work on hundreds, as the standard Pilates like to call them. So we are going to bring our hands in front of us and hip width apart with your feet. And we're going to come into sort of a V-sit position. So that's stage one. If you want to hold that, that's pretty good in its own right. And just really try and relax your shoulders. Now I want you to lift one foot off the floor. Okay, hold it there. This is the tricky bit. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out and lift the other one. Again, that should not be that easy. Both feet down nice and slowly and bring yourself out of that. Very, very good. Okay, again, should be shaking like a leaf if you've got that correct, because your middle ab set has got to hold you and then your lower ab set's got to hold you, and it makes you shudder. Not anything wrong with shuddering, it's making your muscles work, but it just does feel a bit funny. So curling back, stage one. If you're happy with that, you're holding that and that's really good, love it, stay there. If you want to join me, lift that leg and it's just off the floor, okay, not too far. Take a deep breath, tough one, and lift. Core should be holding that very still apart from the massive shaking. All right, now if you want to add, we're going to do 10 little taps here. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Legs down nice and slowly. And bring yourself up. Just lean over and counterbalance that. Very good. All right. Good. If it really is getting your back way more than the front, it just means that your core just needs to keep working. But if it really is starting to hurt, don't go back so far and don't lift your legs, okay? So you can hold it here and your core's still doing the work, still absolutely fine. So if you want to join me, bringing it back. That's it, we're gonna lift one leg. Take a deep breath in and lift. Holding it here, holding it here. That's it, right, let's tap. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Second set, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. If you want to, we're doing one more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your feet down nice and slowly and bring yourself up. Excellent. Oh, right, hands behind you. Keep your chin tucked to your chest, and I just want you to release the other way. Very good. Excellent. Right, before we get up, I just want to do those 2 exercises again to release your glutes and your core, which have both worked really quite hard. So bring yourself backwards nice and slowly, and then we're going to put one leg over the other. Bring your knees in and relax your shoulders. So the further you bring in those knees, the more of a stretch you're getting, and you can just pull your knees very slightly away from you, away from each other. Then that gets more of a stretch right in that glute. Oh, may possibly be feeling that tomorrow. Swapping your legs. Nothing quite like a bit of glute burn, I've got to say. Bringing it in and move your knees apart if you want to. Okay. And bringing it back. Right, so just bring yourself up and over, and we're going to bring yourself onto all fours, and then we'll do that a little stretch out for your abs. So a little half cobra. Oh my God. Ursula, I'm removing said mobile phone from my son. You will not see him with it tomorrow. Just push your shoulders back. Nice breath and relax. Again, if it is too much on your back, just bring yourself further down. If you can't feel it at all, bring yourself up. But just be aware that it's not supposed to pinch your back. Lovely. Okay, bring yourself down. Hands in front of you and just give yourself a little wiggle. Okay, hands to the side. Coming up onto all fours. Leaning back. Drop your head. Nice little child's pose. Good. Come up onto all fours. Right, tucking your toes under. Just come onto your toes. If you can see me, I'm just going to jump forward so you can see me. Head down, bum up. I'll sit steady on here for a sec. Oh. And roll it up nice and slowly. Lovely. Right. Final little burn. Advice, I would go for the lighter one. Steve in particular, if you've got a choice, I'd definitely go for the lighter one on this one. So we are going to wrap this around the top of our ankles, just past the top of our ankles. Okay, so a couple of ways we're going to do this. Plant one foot, doesn't matter which side, we're doing both. And take the other foot off, keep it relatively straight. And then we are going to squeeze it away from you. Now, balance use. So if you're really struggling, wall, chair, door, whatever you need to hold on. If I look at the screen, I'm likely to fall over. So pick a mark that's not moving and concentrate on it. All right, this adds up relatively quickly. 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Okay, swapping legs. Just give yourself a little jig. Oh, right, other side. I think I might get some text messages tomorrow, won't I? Rebecca, I hate you. My glutes are killing me. Think of the burn. Think of the burn. Think of those pert glutes. You'll thank me. Maybe next week. Not tomorrow. That's it. Keep it going. Should be really adding up now. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Oh, right. Okay, this one, a little bit different. It doesn't get quite the same muscles. This is much more your quads. So we're going to put the band in front, and then it will slide down slightly. And I want you to lift. Can you see that? It's quite a small move, but you can feel that your quad has to do much more of the work here. This is tougher in a different way. Try not to yank, so we're flowing. Flow up, squeeze, flow down. Not a sharp move, this one. Right, let's do 2 more on this side. Balance required as well.